I know I'm a little bit late yet again, but it's not Sunday, so I'm not late technically. So let's talk episode 7 of The Penguin. So honestly, I keep saying this with literally every episode as we go along. This episode is the best. But this time, it's not the best because of the action sequences or the story. It's because of its, emotion as well. You know, last episode was very emotional. It was very, very well done stuff with emotions in the previous episode. But this episode really puts that further in, you know? We finally get to see how Oz's brothers died, because throughout this entire show we've known via his mother talking about it that his brothers are long gone and dead, but we never knew how they died. And I honestly never thought we'd actually find out via flashback. I always thought maybe Oz would just say it to somebody within the series, you know, maybe Sophia on screen, because I know he probably told her off screen, but not really sure considering she seemed very surprised when Oz's mother was talking to her. But back to the beginning of the episode, this episode starts in a amazing way, man. The flashback in this episode is so well done. The actors are doing very well with the characters that they're supposed to be playing, and honestly, the relationship between Oz and his mother is so beautiful. You know, they cuddle at night watching Oz's favorite movie. It's very nice stuff. And now I want to talk about the death of Oz's brothers. Now, it was a very rainy night. Oz was playing outside, mainly hide and seek in the sewers of Gotham with his brothers, and they ended up hiding somewhere where Oz couldn't get it because there was a ladder and his leg. So guess what he ends up doing? He's like, screw you guys, and he exits, he closes and locks the door. And it's a rainy night, so that means it's flooding, and that's how his brothers die. Of course, they die off screen, and we flash back to present day, but we all know they died of drowning, all while Oz sat with his mother at home. Now, I really do hope that in episode 8, in the next episode, we get to see the flashback afterwards, after the deaths of his brothers, to see if how the mother reacted to their deaths and what she did to Oz, you know, rather she grounded him, disowned him or whatever. I highly doubt the other option because they're still strong bonds to this day, but she did something. She definitely did something. But yeah, all emotional, great stuff done. And also, now cutting back to present day, of course, where we left off was Sophia entering the apartment building where Victor and Oz's mother were dancing. And when the Penguin comes back, he sees the apartment empty except for Victor, who has been knocked out by Sophia. And he's all over the place. He can't think, and Penguin's just over it because his mother is his everything. So then we cut to Sophia and Salvatore talking about how they're gonna kill Oz once they're done torturing him, and then his mother. And there's this awesome scene where Oz is being tortured by him. You know, I'm not twisted, trust me. It's just a very well done scene because there's so much emotion through every swing and every hit that Salvatore inflicts upon the Penguin, because the Penguin is responsible for his wife's death and his son's death, you know, so he's been just fueled with anger throughout these last 2 episodes, you know, and it's very, very well done stuff. And the actor behind this guy does amazing, but you could really tell the rage between the two of them because Oz's mother is kidnapped and he doesn't know if she's alive or dead, and Salvatore is just trying to say F you to Oz and kill him, and he's just all over the place in this episode, and it's really, really well done acting. And we get to see Oz's mother, Frances, and Sophia interact, and that interaction is really awesome and suspenseful because I swear, my predictions was one of these people were gonna die, either Oz's mother or Victor. Thankfully, neither of them died, but you really felt it several times due to the suspense. I mean, we only see Victor once, and that's at the beginning of the episode, so no real suspense there, but for Oz's mother, we kept seeing her a lot throughout this episode, and every little scene of her with Salvatore or Sophia, you're is Sophia gonna pop out a gun and shoot her? Because we know she wants to hurt Oz. I mean, only Salvatore would probably kill his mother, but who knows, man? Anything could happen at this point. But the interaction between Sophia and Frances, really well done stuff. Awesome when freaking the Penguin's mother just slaps Sophia, be watch your mouth. When Sophia mentions the brothers, she just well done stuff, man. And of course, we get to see Dr. Julian Rush yet again. Now this time, his character isn't so stupid. He actually makes sense for the story. Because Oz's mother slips about memories from when Oz was a kid, and Sophia wants to hear about it, so Dr. Julian Rush Rush comes in and like tries to brainwash her into giving them as many answers as possible. And yes, that was a useful little turn for his character. I'm glad they did something with him, but I still hope this son of a gun gets killed off by the end of this show. But then we get to see Salvatore take over the Penguins' operation underground, which really great stuff, really suspenseful, because while I was watching this episode when it came out, I was like, yo, these guys better have a plan, because like they just walk in there, slaughter a bunch of men, and just take it all over. Now thankfully a guy pulls the plug for the lights and it all goes dark. Oz's men take over and kill everybody while Oz and Salvatore fight, and this fight scene was so well done, man. I'm honestly so happy we got it. Like, I remember smiling at this awesome battle while I was watching it, and ultimately it leads to Salvatore having a fatal heart attack, which shocking as hell. I was like, what the hell's going on? But it turns out he has so much rage that he just explodes, and he has a heart attack that ends up killing him. And I swear the Penguin's reaction to this is so hilarious. He's like, well, I beat you, hey, where's the competition? And then shoots him, despite him just laying there dead. That was just such an interesting scene. Then we get to see Sophia visit her little cousin in like the mental hospital, then figures out or the orphanage, and figures out that she's been cutting herself. And like, that's an emotional scene there too, because this little girl is hurting herself because she doesn't have like parental guidance, doesn't have any mentors to look up to, and Sophia's barely there. But then like we get to see the interaction again between Sophia and Dr. Rush once Sophia's like having a panic attack, and Dr. Rush is like, do what you want to do, not what anybody else. You're not wired, you're not controlled, do what you want. And what she wants is to torture the hell out of Oz. So she sends in a car, the guy that drove the car runs away, and it ends up being a bomb. Now there was this suspenseful scene where it was covered in a blanket, and it looked like a very similar blanket that Oz's mother had. So there's this emotional scene where Oz is starting to cry because he thinks that his mother is dead, and it just turns out to be like an oh shit moment where he takes off the blanket and it's an 18-second countdown. Now what ends up happening is he ends up falling through a hole and leaving the rest of the guys to die, which kind of crazy, but honestly, what do you expect, man? Then we get to see like another flashback where there's like a nice dance scene between, like a nice slow dance between Oz's mother and the Penguin, like a flashback, very well done stuff. And then like we cut back to present day. Oz survived the explosion and he's getting out, and then he encounters this one guy that just knocks him out, and that's where the episode ends. Very shocking, very suspenseful. I cannot wait to see how this show comes to a close. Will these characters die? Who will live? Who will die? Like, will we get closure with each and every individual character? And I really hope so, man. This show has been rocking it. I've been loving this show very, very much, and it's just been 10 out of 10 so far. This episode, of course, was a 10 out of 10 through and through. Best episode of the series, and I highly think that episode 8, the season 1 finale, will be 10 times better than this. And this was a masterpiece episode. So imagine how good the next episode will be. But as of right now, we have 7 episodes, and this has been my review for episode 7. Bye, guys.